The National Inquiry into Child Sexual Abuse has announced details of a wide-ranging investigation into the former Leicester MP Greville Janner. It'll examine whether there was any official cover-up.
It'll also look at whether politicians or the security services failed to protect children. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports.
This single brief court appearance was the closest Greville Janner came to facing a jury to a trial that had the power to prove he committed more than 20 historical child sex offences. His death means the case will now be considered by the independent inquiry into child sexual abuse instead. Today, Justice Goddard's inquiry team revealed how they'll investigate whether vulnerable children were let down. They'll try to establish the facts and look at whether lessons can be learnt. They'll hear evidence from people who've alleged they were sexually abused by Greville Janner as children, and they'll examine whether institutions were responsible for failing to protect children. Those institutions include the beaches and other children's homes around Leicester, along with the police, the Crown Prosecution Service, as well as Leicestershire County Council and the Labour Party too. Jim Roberts is a former Labour chairman of the council. He was responsible for social services when Greville Janner was first accused, and he thinks the new public inquiry is too little too late.
I'm particularly angry because of the way things have been delayed until there can no longer be any proper answers. And I just think that's the establishment taking care of its own. You push things under the carpet, and I'm angry about the way that happens. The great and the good take care of the great and the good.
There was, of course, not a shred of truth.
Greville Janner always denied that he was guilty of abusing children, but next week the new public inquiry will start taking applications from people who want to give evidence against him.
Well, Jeremy's with us now. Jeremy, is this judge-led inquiry going to satisfy alleged victims?
Well, it wasn't what many of them wanted, and that's because this Justice Goddard inquiry can't make any findings of criminal liability. Having said that, I think they'll be pretty satisfied by how wide-ranging it is. For instance, it's investigating whether police or prosecutors were hindered by any public authority. In layman's terms, we're talking about looking for cover-ups. It's also asking whether the government or even security services knew what Greville Janner was being accused of doing. And importantly, it's also going to review a previous inquiry into children's homes in Leicestershire.
So what's that then, Jeremy?
Well, that's something called the Kirkwood Report, which followed the notorious Frank Beck scandal right back in 1991. Now, you'll probably remember that Frank Beck was a care home manager who was found guilty of a catalogue of horrific child sex crimes. At his trial, Greville Janner was named as one of the abusers. But the Kirkwood Report didn't mention Greville Janner at all, and this new inquiry is going to be asking why not.
OK, Jeremy, thank you.